Did you know that not asking for help or not accepting help from others could be slowly killing you? I bet you didn't. I bet you thought that, what's wrong with being so independent? I can do it all and I will do it all, right? Well, it might sound dramatic that it could be slowly killing you, but actually research shows that this is the truth. So today we're going to be talking about why. What's going on there? Why asking for help or not receiving help from others is actually a bad thing, what science says about it, and what we can do to protect our mental health and physical health. For anyone new here, I'm Justina. I'm an occupational psychologist and personal coach. And I love everything related to psychology and science to really optimize ourselves and our life. And definitely I used to be the person who was doing it all, never asking anyone for help, never wanting to accept someone's help because I was stubborn, I was independent, I didn't want to be a burden to others. But at some point I did realize that this is not making me any favors. It does not make me feel better, and actually it prevents me from developing deeper connections with others. So first, let's talk about it. Why not asking for help is a problem. Because you might not see it, but it is. So of course, when you take too much on yourself, it can be overwhelming and exhausting. And then our bodies are impacted by this chronic stress, which is a stress over a long period of time, and that's considered a bad stress because you do not have time to recover, to rest from that stress, because it's just keep on going in the back of your mind. And then when you're doing it all, you start thinking that you cannot trust others, you cannot count on them, and that can cause damages to your relationships. So the first problem of you not asking for help is emotional strain. Not asking for help can lead to the feeling of isolation, of the feeling that you need to be independent, that asking for help is a sign of weakness, which might trigger a feeling of shame, especially if you cannot keep up with all the things that you need to do, and ideally you would like to get helped, but asking for help is considered a weakness for you. Then we have a physical impact. If you have a lot of emotional strain, it can later on impact your physical body because it's all connected. And then you might have problems with sleeping. You can start feeling sick because stress is actually decreasing your immunity system. You might be feeling like on the edge of burnout. And then the third problem of not asking for help is that it can lead to impaired relationships. Refusing help can make other people feel rejected, which can later on make them feel like they are not needed or not taken into consideration or not trusted. And that causes additional pain for that person in the relationship. And now that you see that is actually a problem, you might be still thinking, why this is wrong? It's not that wrong. So let me tell you that firstly, it undermines interdependence. So human beings are actually social creatures. And the moment you say no to someone offering your help when you need help, or you don't actively seek out help from others, you are disregarding that fact that you are a sociable creature. You isolate yourself, you feel like you are alone and on your own, and you kill the opportunity to cooperate with other people. And then it limits your growth. You can do so much on your own. You can know so much on your own. But when you isolate yourself from others and you don't give them even a chance to cooperate, collaborate with you, you are missing out a lot of opportunities to learn, to grow, to see new perspective, or to regain some of the resources that you're missing out. If you have so many things on your to-do list and somebody has a lot of free time and they are very eager to help you, this is the opportunity for you to free up some of the most valuable resource on earth time because another person could do some of the activities from your to-do list. So sometimes not asking for help or not accepting help can cause you unnecessary stress. I know you want to do it all, or you don't really trust other people that they will do a great job, but that puts a lot of strain, physical and mental, on you. And later on you might be burnout or have a chronic stress, and then everything will just go downhill from there. And when everything goes downhill and you are burnout and you are demotivated to do even the basic things, you might experience symptoms of depression or decreased productivity or decreased efficiency. So at the end of the day, you're slowly destroying yourself and destroying your performance just because you couldn't ask for help. But the good news is, the moment you start asking for help and you start accepting help from others, you're going to decrease your stress. You're going to improve your relationships, strengthen them, and really develop a deeper sense of trust and connection. You're going to increase your productivity by delegating your tasks to others and really focusing on your strengths and the tasks that you really want to do. And lastly, it will boost actually your self-confidence, because the moment you realize what are your limitations and where enough is enough, it's the moment when you embrace your strengths and weaknesses. You develop a greater sense of self-identity and you know yourself better. And if you haven't watched my previous video about self-confidence, when I mentioned that the core of self-confidence is self-identity, first of all, go back and watch it. Second of all, you would know that self-identity and self-awareness are actually the key to increase your self-confidence. And now you might be thinking, it all sounds great. I already know that not asking for help or not accepting help from others is problematic, and it causes me a lot of negative consequences on my mental and physical health, and I already see a lot of benefits of asking for help, but then it's not that simple. And you might be wondering, why do I have a problem with asking for help? So let me tell you about the most common causes and how you can overcome these. First might be pride and independence. Perhaps you were taught to always rely on yourself. Perhaps it is your ego. You feel like asking for help is a weakness. We often associated asking for help with admitting that we cannot do something, that we are not able to do something. And that could be a blow to our pride. Another reason is fear of being vulnerable. Asking for help exposes our vulnerabilities and perhaps opens us up to possible rejection or judgment, that we cannot handle something or we cannot do something, or somebody might say no when we ask for help, or we don't want to ask for help because we don't want to be a burden to others. We may worry that we're going to give someone an extra job and we just don't want to cause more problems, or we fear that the moment we ask someone for help, we will owe them a favor. Sometimes we might be fearing that if we ask someone for help, it will mean that we will owe them a favor and we will have to repay it in the future. Or finally, perhaps we just have a lack of trust. We don't really believe that this person can meet our requirements or our expectations, or they will let us down because we were let down in the past, and we might have a hard time to let someone in or trust them that they will follow through when we ask them for help. So how to overcome those difficulties and be able to ask for help or receive help from others? First, you need to identify the need for help. The first step is really to admit that sometimes everyone needs help from time to time. Sometimes life is a little bit harder or things might be more overwhelming to you. So it is natural, it is normal to ask for help or acknowledge that there is someone that could help us. And it's okay and perfectly fine to ask them for assistance, then you want to be specific. When asking for help, be as specific and as clear as possible. What do you expect the person to help you with? This makes it much easier for the person to provide you whatever you need exactly. Like with every aspect of relationships, effective communication is really key. Instead of being passive aggressive or mad at someone and then say, oh, you didn't really read my mind. If you're not going to tell what's going on inside of your head, some people might not even bother to guess. So it will be much easier for you and them if you're going to be clear and specific. So then later on, you are more likely to avoid being let down. Then you want to practice empathy. I bet you love helping other people. Or I bet that you don't have a problem with helping other people when they ask you for help. So you need to realize that most people genuinely want to help one another, especially if they are friends or they are in a relationship or this is a family. They really want to feel needed. Try remembering the times that you helped someone. How did it feel? It felt great because you contributed to something positive. You made someone happier through your actions, and there is nothing more rewarding than that feeling. So try remembering that the moment you refuse someone help, even though you really needed that help, you're kind of taking away from them that opportunity to feel needed, to feel rewarded by helping you. You're kind of taking away the opportunity for them to feel this great. And then you want to start small. If you have lack of trust issues, or you expect that somebody will just let you down, or you're afraid somebody will not do this thing as well as you would do, start with small requests, something else than the matter of life or death. Something small like asking to pick up oranges in a grocery shop, or maybe take the bins out, and later on gradually work your way up until you feel comfortable with asking for help more and more. Because even if somebody let you down before, or you have trust issues from previous relationships, you don't know if this time you're going to be let down. But if you're not going to try, you will never know. You will always live in that belief that everyone wants to let you down, like you cannot trust anyone. So you need to start giving yourself a chance to test if you can trust others or not. The more you ask for help and the more positive feedback you get, the more you're reassuring yourself that it's okay to ask for help, because it is. And then you want to reframe your thinking. Instead of thinking that asking for help is a weakness, see it as an opportunity for others to learn, grow, know more about you, or feel good about themselves, feel needed, feel important for others. Remember, asking for help is not a sign of weakness, it's actually a sign of strength. It shows that you value the input and expertise of others. It shows that you want to introduce them into your life. And then it shows that you are confident to admit when you don't know something, or when you just have too much to handle at the given time. It allows us to be more open and more giving, and reduces conflict because you're not overwhelmed all the time or burn out all the time. You're more honest about what's going on, which later on makes your relationships much closer. So don't hesitate to reach out when you need help, because you might be surprised, and I bet you will be surprised at how others are willing to lend you a hand. It might feel awkward or uncomfortable at the beginning, but as with everything, practice makes perfect. So start small and work your way up. I hope you found this video useful, and I hope that I encouraged you to ask more for help. So then you can be healthier, you can be less overwhelmed, and you can have better, more open and honest relationships. And if you have more questions or concerns, how exactly to start asking for help, because it still might be weird or uncomfortable, please comment down below or reach out to me, because I'm here to help. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more psychological, science-based tips to improve your physical and mental health. And I'll see you in the next video.